And there was some good news, but also bad news along the Cameron Peak fire. The good, a lot of people were allowed to return to their homes this weekend after those mandatory evacuations. The bad, of course, incident managers worry that the fire will only continue to grow after the cold front blew in. It's also threatening different areas like Pingree Park and the CSU Mountain campus. 9 News reporter Steve Stager's been talking to people managing the fire. And Steve, what are their major concerns now?
You know, Tom, they're worried about what we are experiencing here right now, the wind, though the spokesman for the incident management team told me that it's not as bad, at least this morning. It wasn't as bad near that fire as it is here in the metro area. The good news is that firefighters have made some solid progress on containment, which was enough to let some people go home.
You know, it got to within a half a mile of us, and the smoke plumes were just incredible. It was really quite frightening.
That is a day Scott Porshankula will never forget.
The day that the fire broke loose about a week ago on Saturday, it was pretty intense, and everyone was really scared, as they should have been.
While others evacuated as the Cameron Peak fire burned, he says firefighters asked him to stay behind and keep the Red Feather Lakes trading post open, a place for firefighters to fuel up. Some of his only customers.
It's been a ghost town here for about 2 weeks.
Not anymore. Larimer County Sheriff lifted the mandatory evacuation on Saturday.
Due to the all the work of firefighters, cumulative work over the last few weeks to grow the containment.
Incident managers say firefighters were able to work ahead and build containment lines that make them comfortable even as the bad weather rolls in. Working ahead is also paying off where the fire is expected to rage next.
They're implementing their structure protection plan.
Over the last few weeks, crews have been camped out near the CSU Mountain campus and Pingree Park areas, preparing them to withstand what's next. The area where the fire is strongest is so rugged, it's hard to get crews on the front lines to directly fight it. So they fought it by air and used crews to work ahead in potential trouble spots.
Moving fuels away from homes, setting up sprinkler systems. And so they're there to suppress fire as it gets close.
Creating a sense of calm, much like the one felt by a town that's just starting to feel normal again.
It's just a complete release of anxiety to be able to get back to familiar ground.
You know, we so often think of wildland firefighters fighting a fire right there on the front lines, but this is a bit of a different strategy, fighting that fire through preparing areas and trying to keep the fire contained there. 134,000 acres, the current size of the Cameron Peak fire. And Tom, it's about 47% contained at last update, with no sure date on when it might all be contained.
Yeah, we've seen today with these winds, fire certainly a major factor throughout, and what's happened to those ones that are already active. They are changing, and not in a good way today. Steve, thanks for the update.